Yeah, let's do it.
I'd love to get caught up. So, welcome everybody to the final Jim and Stu show of the year. Stu has a cameraman working his camera.
Yeah,
He
every time
has
I
a
move.
he has a new background. I guess if you move in closer to the camera, it'll zoom you out. So we can. Oh my God, that's disturbing. But yeah. So they've been drinking ever since Christmas at Stu's house, and the little cameraman's having trouble focusing. But we're doing our best.
Yes.
Um, but you got a really cool background. Is there any way to make that thing zoom out and show everybody the cool background that you have now, or?
I don't know. Do I get in closer? Do I get in further?
Well, if you get in closer, it'll zoom out, and then if you pull back really fast, it'll do it.
I just have to stay in the middle. I don't know. It'll show it in a second. I don't know what the heck is wrong with this thing. It's I got a new camera along with my new background, and I have to play around with the settings a little bit because it seems like it's on an autofocus mode.
Oh, I'd
Right?
say it's on an auto something.
It's
Yeah.
autofocus because it just moves around. So every now and then it'll back it up, and you can see some of what's going on behind it. But it's a lot of stuff. I mean, some of the stuff is some plaques from previous years and some artwork that people have given me over the years, and some coins. That flag is a coin holder. So it
Oh, let's zoom in and take a look at the coins, Stu.
all holds my coins there. And the paddles are gifts from students who.
Why don't you stand up and it'll pan up and everybody will see. There you go.
Bravo.
Nice work.
Yeah. So anyway.
That's pretty cool. Is that picture your buds class when you graduated?
Yep. Over there. Yep.
Okay.
Alden's in there.
I saw that. I saw that other picture of you guys all decked out in cool dive gear and stuff too. I think Alden's in that picture too.
Yes. Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Well, that's neat, man. I'm jealous in a way because I used to have a cool background with all my awards and stuff, and now I just have a whiteboard behind me. But
yeah, but your whiteboard is cool.
Yeah, there you go. So JD's here. Welcome, JD. Vicky's here as well. So we are going to get started. I guess we've already gotten started. Yes. So what are we talking about today, Stu? In our final of the year, what are we doing?
Oh hell, I don't know. No. I'm just kidding. I've been so busy, I forgot. No, I have a whole list here. This is a good one, and because what I want you to try to do is imagine crushing 2022 and what that looks like for you individually, you know, as a partner in business or as a single entrepreneur or as a business owner with employees. What's that look like to you? So we're going to make plans. You're going to be flexible, continue to be open to new ideas. One thing I'm trying to do here is, once again, just I reset the mode of my office to be really going to focus on podcasting, training, live Q&As once I fix my camera. and you know, so just trying to use technology and add a few new products on there. I've even added in some Zoom mentoring calls.
Oh, sweet. That's on your menu.
As part of my 22 this year. But okay. I'm also doing a lot of interviews with people who would be considered competitors. And the main reason I want to do that is because, you know, one day's competitor can be tomorrow's collaborator.
Like frenemies.
Yeah. You know, keep them close.
But what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Stu?
No, I'm just serious. I mean, I'm just be open to those type of relationships.
Right.
You know, with your business, and you can actually see some growth and learn some things that maybe your competitors are doing, and you know, because it just gets you in an open mindset to expand what you are doing. So,
well, Stu, that's interesting because a couple of years ago, I started having. I read a book. I think it's called The One Word, or I think it's basically you focus on one word for a whole year. And so for a couple of years, for me, it was leadership, was learning how to run my team, learning how to become a better leader. I think I have become somewhat of a better leader. But I've still, you're never perfect. So this year, it's interesting what you said because it relates to what you're saying. Oh, good. My camera's frozen. That's awesome. Let's see if we can unfreeze it. We may not. We may not be able to unfreeze it.
Looked like you took a picture of yourself.
Yeah, I didn't take a picture of myself, but it may turn out to be that I'm going to give it one quick try, and then we'll see if that unmesses it. Did that fix it?
Well, the picture you had, you didn't have headphones on.
Okay, how about now?
Right,
Can
but
you
now
see
you have
me?
headphones on. Yes.
Okay, well, that's because we're doing what we can to do this. Now I got stuff everywhere, and I rearranged all my monitors and stuff, and this is kind of like letting everything hang out in front of everybody. All right, I'm almost fixed because I want to talk with you for a second. Okay, so for me, the word this year is actually a phrase, okay, but we're going with the same thing. And it's strategic vision is my, that's the thing that I'm focused in on. What's the strategic vision for my business? Okay. And one of the things that it's forcing me to do is to think, in fact, if anybody has a suggestion, I've really been having this thing nagging at the back of me saying I need to learn how to play chess. I've never learned how to play chess, but to be able to plan several moves ahead kind of thing, I need to get better at that. I need to get better at having a strategic vision of what's going on with my business. So one of the things that I figured out is that by hook or by crook, in the very near future, we need to add to our content marketing scripts the ability for people to post their content. It can't just be come up with ideas and then create the content. We've got to help people go to the next step, which is get it posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Because if we can do that, then it's going to multiply people's ability to get a result. But and that comes from practicing thinking about strategic vision of where ultimately do I want everybody to end up, and then how am I going to get everybody there? So this is kind of the next step of working on the leadership, if that makes sense. Because a good leader has to be able to have strategic vision for the people that they're leading and the people that choose to follow them. So there are several things that I want to do this year, but the number one thing is to be able to help people go to that next step with their content. Then once we've got the distribution, then I want to start making it easier to create the content. So like taking scripts and automatically or removing steps with video. So if instead of saying, hey, go make a PowerPoint and here's your PowerPoint slide deck, what if I could take it to the next step where it's like, hey, highlight the words inside of each one of these slides and it'll automatically suggest pictures for you from Pixabay. Just removing those little things, removing those little challenges. So we just knock down one more barrier, one more barrier, one more barrier. And that's where I think we need to go. So if you think about, the first step in being able to do that content stuff would be simply just to get everybody into the same app, whatever that is. And then that'd be first step. Second step, would be to integrate the app with content marketing scripts. And then finally, it would be to just seamlessly, work. I know. I mean, I've been thinking about that a lot in the morning and stuff. But when you're trying to do something, any type of strategic vision, most people want to just end up at the end thing. It's like, if it can't just be perfect, then I'm not going to do it. But part of getting there is figuring out, okay, what are the steps? What are the roadblocks? What are the milestones that we have to reach? What do we have to get over? What do we have to reach? Always keeping in mind the end run goal, standing on top of the mountain, planting the flag. That's Mount Everest. But that's, understanding that, how are we going to get there? And usually you have to get there in pieces. You're not just going to arrive in a tuxedo in a limousine with $1 million in your bank account. There's a whole lot of steps. You can have that strategic vision. But anyway, this is where I have to really think, and the reason why I'm come to that conclusion is that I'm 54 years old. How much time do I really have left to keep working? I can keep, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. But at some point, I'm not going to be working anymore. So it's time maybe not to swing. Maybe it is time to swing for the fence. Or, I faced a lot of pitchers. I know a lot of, I've done a lot of stuff. If anybody can swing for the fence, I can.
Sure.
So that's that's why I'm thinking the way that I'm thinking. So anyway, that's what my 2022 is going to be all about: strategic vision and making what I already have better instead of trying to make a bunch of new stuff. And I was talking to my buddy Dexter this morning. It's like you said, last year you were going to concentrate on selling the ebooks you had instead of writing new ebooks, and you had your best year ever.
Yeah.
So my thought is, we've already got, between funnel scripts, content marketing scripts, Jim Edwards Method Premium, and everything else, I've got over 130 scripts or something. I don't need to make new scripts. What I need to do is make the scripts I have work better. Take what I've learned over the last 7-8 years, especially with funnel scripts and other stuff, and just make those scripts work better.
Yeah, I tell you, Jim, I obviously love the scripts and the wizards because I use them often.
Mm-hmm.
So they are definitely the easy button to helping me create some very useful content.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you are making the easier button even more possible with this new venture
Mm-hmm.
or development in your business. And I'll tell you this: one of my things, whenever I go through the process of filling out a wizard,
Mm-hmm.
is if I don't use it immediately,
Mm-hmm.
like immediately afterwards, it can be gone, right? Like it almost has to be done now.
Yep.
Sometimes I can sit on it and think about it, how I'm going to use it, and take a lunch break or something and then come back and do it. But it has to be done within an hour of me making it, or it's in my download folder somewhere that hasn't reached the done list.
Right. And one of the things that we were talking about, I was talking to Susan and Nancy. If you think about content, and I'm sorry that I'm like trippy and stuff, but if you think about, and this really applies to anything, okay, just imagine there's anything that you want to do, and imagine that you have a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of battery power to get this done. And the more steps that you have in there, the more battery power that you're going to be using up. And this can be actual energy. This can be willpower. This can be time. Okay, it's like this is the battery. This is the get her done battery. Okay, and so whatever it is, let's say it is content marketing. Okay, what are the 3 phases of content marketing? Okay, ideation, creation, and distribution. Now, using the wizards, doing all this stuff. Let's say, okay, if you're doing, okay, let's talk about. And I'm just making this up, but I've been thinking. I've been thinking about this a lot. So this is like the training ground. This is the lab.
I think in 3 phases as well, as you
know. So here's the thing. If you're doing this manually, okay, then here's what happens. Oh man, I got to come up with an idea. I got to come up with an idea for some content. What am I going to do? I think I had an idea. Well, maybe I could do like one of them list things. Oh, all right. So you're burning through your time, willpower, and energy just coming up with an idea. Then you're like, okay, well, I'll do one list. So here's a list, and it's like 5 things, and it kind of sucks, but it's not that bad. And okay, it's done. So now you got like half a bar at the bottom. You got the dregs, and it's like, oh man, I got to do something with it. So what am I going to do? I'll post it up on Facebook. All right, I posted on Facebook. Phew, my hour's up. I'm done. So, and then it's like, well, that content marketing crap doesn't work because I've done it a couple times and I'm not rich. Okay, so that's the manual way. So now let's get our battery back in there, and let's say you're actually using the wizards. Okay, honest, and you know me, I'm honest about this stuff. So you're using the wizards, and you're like, okay, Jim said that I can come up with some stuff, and I can do it pretty quick. So I need to come up with an idea. So I come up with my idea. I'm cool. I got my idea done. I'm good. All right. So I got the ideas and stuff. So now I'm going to create my content. So I create it, and okay, that was pretty easy. I loaded my avatar. I did the thing. And so now I created it. Now let me edit it real quick. Let me post it on Facebook. Let me post it on my Facebook group. And okay, I'll put it in my newsletter. Still, it's like you're still not fully maximizing the thing. But then what if you say, okay, I can use a wizard. I come up with a cool idea, and I create the script, and then I do it as a Facebook Live, and then I get it transcribed by Otter. I already had the thing done. And now, instead of just doing the thing like, I'll do my Facebook page and I'm done, all I got to do is, okay, I load this thing into this software. I set all the parameters for it, and now I click go. And it goes out to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, your blog,
newsletter.
Your can go to your newsletter. The thing is, but then also it recycles it 6 months later. And it also helps you to say, okay, let me turn this graphic into one specifically for Instagram. Or what if the wizard now, instead of just giving you like the word of the day script, it pops out the word of the day script. It pops out a quote. It pops out some memes. It pops out a checklist. It pops out an infographic, all from the same wizard. And now, instead of saying, okay, all I want you to do, like during the workshop we do on Thursday, it's like we're going to do word of the day. Then you're going to get your word of the day script. You're going to record that. Then you're going to pull a quote from that. You're going to make a meme from that. You're going to come up with a 4-part checklist from that. We're going to get that all done. We're going to get it loaded into the software, and you've just taken care of your content now and into the future. So you build this big book of business. So as you're doing this every day, you're building this geometric progression of content that you're not even having to post anymore. So you're creating one piece of content a day, leveraging it in a bunch of ways, but within weeks, you'll actually be posting several times a day. because of the repurposing, the recycling, and all that stuff, and the automatic posting stuff. So that's where I want to get this to. That's the strategic vision.
Nice.
For where this is, but you're still only having to expend the same amount of energy. You're just using it a little bit differently. The same amount of get or done battery. I got to play with this metaphor because I think that's a great, I could see doing that on a webinar and people being like, holy crap.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. In fact, it seems like you got 1 and 2 kind of taken care of with your wizards.
Exactly. It's already been done for years. It's proven.
Yeah. Yes. And then now we're just focusing on the distribution.
Right.
I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's where I need to get it to. So talking to companies about doing some partnering and some other stuff. And my goal is to have it squared away by the end of January.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, one thing is for sure is once you start with really understanding all the different ways you can distribute your content, it does become a habit, just like working out.
Yes.
It becomes a habit. So once I produce a piece of content, I know I have another 30 minutes left, to get that out in as many ways as I can. And sometimes, some are better than others on different platforms. But at the same time, it's the closing bell of what you're trying to do, obviously.
Right. But here's the thing. Here's what I want you to think about. All right. You just said something important that I want to hit on. And that is you said, okay, 30 minutes. I've got 30 minutes left to go post this. All right. That's kind of the thought process. Okay, and this is where you, right now, with what you're doing, this is what you really have to do. It's going to take you about 30 minutes if you're going to do everything that you should do. But let me ask you this, Stu. You were spending 1 to 2 hours per day on book fulfillment, weren't you?
Yep.
Okay. So you were spending, let's say, 5 to 10 hours a week, 20 to 40 hours a month, and let's just say 200 to 400 hours a year.
Crazy.
On book fulfillment. Now, if you really want to look at that, 400 hours is 10 full 40-hour work weeks you were spending on getting the stuff out the door.
Ouch. And
then you made a shift with a company you were already doing business with.
Mm-hmm.
All you did was just hook up to Lulu's automatic book thingy, and all of a sudden you freed up 200 to 400 hours a year. You freed up 5 to 10 full work weeks per year from this, which has enabled you to focus on your high ticket stuff, which is taking off. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So now, what if we could eliminate that 30 minutes per day that you should be spending on promoting your content? That's 2.5 hours per week. That's 10 hours per month. That's 120 hours per year. That's 3 full work weeks you could get back. And honestly, by promoting your content automatically and systematically with a piece of software instead of relying on your dopey human brain, it's going to get done consistently, it's going to get done right, and it's going to build that compounding effect over time. So that's the other thing that I'm looking at. What could you do with an extra 120 hours a year? And here's the thing. Most people aren't doing the 30 minutes. Most people are creating a piece of content, they're throwing it up on Facebook, and they're calling it done. And then they're wondering why it's not really working. Well, I guess I need to get on Instagram. So then they post one thing to Instagram. And Nancy was telling me to really activate the algorithms on social media, none of us are posting enough. Even used to are not posting enough to really get those algorithms into overdrive. And it doesn't mean you're posting 20 times a day, but it does mean you're posting 3-4 times a day consistently. So
well, I will tell you this, Jim. All I get on my Facebook, my regular Facebook page, is puppy dogs, and it's awesome.
I understand that, but that's building awareness, and that's building, that's you can have a unicorn feature, you can have a business feature, you can have a swimming feature, you can have a running feature, you can have all this stuff. It's the creating the content, if you're using the wizards, is the easy part now.
Yes.
Now the next step is, once you're in the habit of using the wizards and creating content, it's the getting it distributed consistently. That's where we need to get.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to lead everybody. That's where we're going. Because it's just the amount of time over the year, it's crazy how much time you're spending or not spending, because this is a commitment. We're busy. It goes back to the battery. And that's why this is a big thing. The get her done battery is not just having the energy, it's having the energy, the willpower, and the time. All that together. That's why a lot of times we don't get done what we need to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Not because we're lazy or stupid. It's because we just got stuff's just going on.
Well, I'm telling the folks listening to this is that try to listen to what Jim has just said and apply it to what you have to do with your customers for them to help them see better results. Like, I am seeing this parallel perfectly in my business, right? Because I write the program, I send it to them, they buy it. We're creating it, together, and I send it to them. Now I just have to get them to do it, right? It's that next level.
You can never make somebody do something, though.
No.
You know that.
No.
But it's the little text in the morning, like, oh shit, Stu just texted me. But now it's like I text you back. It's like, hey, yeah, I'm up, I'm out, I'm doing it. So but it's those little things that start making the huge difference. It's like they say, little hinges that swing big doors. It's the little things that now all of a sudden everybody's getting crazy results. And I think that's going to be the little difference is what's going to make the huge difference for everybody, especially in 2022.
Yeah. Anybody in the group listening have some things they are setting up and trying to swing for the fence this year? Just curious.
Yeah, I'd be very curious. Anna's crushing it. I was talking to Dexter about Anna this morning. If everybody did what Anna did, everybody would be getting big results.
What was that in a nutshell?
She's getting it done every day. She is getting it done every single day. So David's working on a new offer. Frederick says that product sounds awesome. JD's starting an e-magazine. That's cool. All right.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to do with my stuff, Jim, is just kind of rearrange my office, because that I don't know what that does to the mind, but it does set you up on almost it changes your mindset 100%, right? And with a more professional background, other than just a bookcase with some books, which I liked and some people like too, but now I'm going to talk about a lot of these things that are behind me with people who are paying for my time to talk about being successful in that journey. So I am I'm very fired up for it. I'm very motivated for it, and that's half the battle. Being pumped to make this work.
Absolutely. I mean, I've rearranged my office a bunch of times, and it seems like every time I do, like I rearranged my physical desk just this morning. And yeah, it does seem like, sometimes just clean up your desk, clean up your office, clean up your office, clean up your desk. Are you still there, Stu?
No, I'm listening. I'm reading. Yes,
okay.
but Carl
What
has
the hell's
something.
that? What's that noise?
I don't know.
Ba-ding, ba-ding. That's weird. I'm hearing a weird noise. Could be on my end. You don't hear a weird noise? You didn't hear a noise like a notification noise or something?
No.
Okay. Must be on my end.
Yep. Carl has a book called Dad Tools. I'd like to see that.
All right.
Dad Tools. That's cool.
Nice.
That's popular. Popular stuff.
So what are we ready for the podcast?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll transition right into it. And it's pretty much a smooth segue going into this, what we're talking about.
Okay, good, because I don't know what we're talking about.
Well, I'm gonna spring it on you, and you're gonna go nuts on your whiteboard. That's the way it works.
I'm gonna think it's amazing, except there's no Mr. Pickles. Damn it.
I like Jim's attempt at Mr. Pickles.
All right, hang on.
That sounded funny.
All right, I know it's funny until it's your pickle.
All right, Stu.
Hey,
Don't have fun at Jim's expense. Just because you got a cool background now and think you're all cool and have a drunk cameraman. Here we go.
All right, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the final Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast episode ever for 2022. So we never really throw in dates for the podcast episodes because that's a mistake. But this is podcast episode 144.
yes.
And so this is exciting because we're heading into 2022, and 2022 is a multiple of 144. Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah, it's not a complete multiple, but you can divide 144 by 22, so it is a multiple.
It doesn't go together, but yeah.
It doesn't have to. It can do whatever it wants, man.
There's some decimals afterwards.
That's fine. So, Stu.
Yes.
What are we talking about today?
Well, it's a new year, new you.
It's not a new year yet, dude. It's the end of the year.
Yeah, end of the year, focusing on a new year,
Uh-huh.
new you, resolutions. Trying to think of some dumb cliches that I hate every new year. Because it's no one knows the word resolution after about January 20th.
Right.
It just doesn't exist in our lexicon anymore, right? For some reason, it lasts about 2 weeks. So let's set some good goals and establish a winning mindset. I'm really just getting things done.
I think that's great.
And I think you have to ask yourself this, Jim.
Yes.
I wrote this article.
Yeah.
Applies a lot to my guys doing, what they want to do in their life, but it really applies to just about anything.
Yeah.
No matter what your goal is. And the question I ask everybody listening is, how bad do you really want it?
Ooh.
Right? And then my answer is, you might not want it bad enough if. And I go through a series of ifs. Do you want to hear them?
Yes. Can I give everybody a really good tip on purchasing fitness equipment though, real quick?
Oh, sure.
Okay. If you want to pay maximum money for fitness equipment, buy something in the next 2 weeks.
Ooh, yeah.
If you want to pay minimal amount for fitness equipment that's been barely used, it's like the old joke about from Vietnam, here's an Arvin rifle, never only dropped once, never fired, only dropped once. If you want a lightly used treadmill or elliptical or any other piece of fitness equipment maybe used once or twice and then lightly used as a clothing hanger. Start picking that stuff up in March off of Craigslist. That's the time to get it, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting me a new exercise bike in March.
Smart.
I'm not getting it next week. So
Definitely
there you go.
smart.
All right, so I just wanted to share that little bit of purchasing advice, and so I would love to hear what are the ideas or what are the things to know if you don't want it badly enough.
You may not want it bad enough if the pain of long days and nights and dread of hard work and constant discomfort and stress convince you to decide on a change of direction in your career choice.
Okay.
So there are long days, there's long nights,
Yeah.
and it's hard work.
Okay.
As long as you realize that, you can bring your A game to that day or week or month and change your life.
Okay. All right. What else?
You might not want it bad enough if you keep getting distracted by things that are harming your focus.
Okay.
Right? That happens. Happens
Okay.
all the time. You might not want it bad enough if you cannot get started because you don't have all the things you need.
Okay.
Do more with less. Just get it done. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it done. You can perfect it later.
Okay.
You might not want it bad enough if you can talk yourself out of accomplishing a task required for success in your goal. This could be homework. It could be getting something done. It could be fitness, getting a workout in, putting in the extra time studying and doing required research. If you can get into your own head and distract yourself, you may not want it bad enough.
Okay. What else?
Let's see. You may not want it bad enough if someone else can talk you out of it. Negative feedback from people in your life can either be an obstacle that can deflate you completely or fuel your or be the fuel that inspires you to prove them wrong.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite motivators is proving people wrong.
Absolutely.
Man.
What else?
People telling me you can't make a living doing fitness stuff. It's like, all right. I don't know what rock you live under, but I'm going to make it happen. All right. And then you may not want it bad enough if subtle comments make you doubt your journey. These are the harsh ones. You know, sometimes the passive aggressive comment that comes out about what you're doing. Yeah, I won't ever forget. I was going through SEAL training, and it was probably, through the harder parts of it. And they were still trying to get people to quit, but they knew they couldn't make you quit by beating you physically. So they started getting into your head, and they would say things like, "So, Smith, got a girlfriend?" Yeah, I used to have a girlfriend. Used to have a wife. Spent 18 months out of the last 2 years deployed, and I came back and all my stuff was gone. They just make you really think deep about, do I really want to go down this journey?
Right.
And I know that was a mind game, but it doesn't have to be that type of setup. But just,
So you stayed with Denise all these years just to prove that one guy wrong?
I did. Right. 33 years. Yeah. So
D nice.
Yeah, D nice.
All right. What else?
Another one is you might not want it bad enough if you're doubting your abilities when you fail something for the first time. When you fail at something. This is a big one. I can't tell you how many times I screwed something up in this journey, but I figured it out. Figured out how to work around it and get something to work. Yeah, I know you do this all the time. How many times have you screwed up that whiteboard that you're writing on?
Yeah,
You know,
but that's just one way not to do it. Screw it. I ain't worried about that. I'm gonna figure out how to make this thing work.
Yeah, exactly.
The lighting sucks. The picture looks like shit. Okay, bye. Oh, excuse my French. The picture does not look optimal. Well, let's start doing stuff and see. Okay, that looks worse. Let's make it look as bad as it can look so we can start making it look better. I mean, I never look at anything as fail. The only time I fail is when I don't try, when I don't give it a real try. And a real try doesn't mean doing it once. It means it's beating your head against the wall for a week or a month. That's a real try.
Yep. Absolutely. Like, I'm going to fix this camera today.
Yeah, go on YouTube. I guarantee, go to YouTube, put in the camera name and autofocus fix or adjust autofix, and you'll have it fixed in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Then come out with an info product on it and sell it.
Damn.
All right.
What else? So here's the biggest thing. Here's the reason why a lot of this, doesn't work for people. Is in the end, it has to be a passion, right? And that is so important. There is a fire that can help you when you need it the most, and that is really a passion. Is how bad do you want it is also known as passion. So it could be the driving force that allows you to perform a task at your best and on time while exceeding the standards you set for yourself.
Yep. Okay.
That is passion.
So let me feed this back to you in my own thing. If we were talking about online business, if we're talking about copywriting, if we're talking about creating a book, if it's creating a course, if it's doing anything that we want to do, getting in shape, staying in shape, getting back in shape, having a great relationship, any of this stuff, okay? You don't want the long-term goal badly enough if it's not a passion with a strong why. If you don't have a strong why behind it, you are screwed before you even get started. That's number one to me as well. If there's no strong why, you're going to quit. If there is a strong why, you will literally walk through fire if the why is strong enough, and never quit if the why is strong enough. You will never quit if the why is strong enough. I remember when I got fired from my job and I started working for myself full-time, but I also had a part-time job, which meant that I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, working until noon. I would then go work for the lady at the real estate company from 1 to 5, and then come home and I would work until 10 at night. But I had such a strong why, and there was one other thing I did. And you talk about combining that with somebody talking smack about you. The guy who fired me, I put a picture of Terry and a picture of him next to each other above my monitor. And whenever I wanted to quit, I would look up there and I would think to myself, who am I choosing? Her or his opinion of me? And let me tell you what, man, I burned it up. Now, I should have thrown in some physical training in there too, because I really went to crap. Okay. But live and learn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want the long-term goal badly enough if a short-term pain will stop you. You don't want to get in shape bad enough if you're like, well, my knee hurts, so I can't walk anymore. My shoulder hurts, so I can't do anything. Well, then do what you can do until that gets better, get stronger, work on flexibility, do something every single freaking day. But if you'll let a short-term pain stop you, then you sure don't want it, because nothing worth having is going to be had without at least some short-term pain. You don't want that long-term goal badly enough if bright, shiny objects can distract you from what you say you really want and what you're going to do. If a bright, shiny object can take you off purpose like that, you know you want something when you feel it in your gut. Like when I'm like a pit bull with something in my jaw, and the family knows, Susan knows, everybody knows, Dexter knows, everybody knows, oh God, Jim's got his teeth into that, and we're not, it's not going to be over until he is done. And I literally can think about something and I feel it right here. Right here, when I think about something, it's like, man, I go to bed thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. When I'm doing my walks, when I'm exercising, whatever I'm thinking about, I think about it all the time. It becomes, for me, it becomes not just a passion, but an obsession. That's when you want it bad enough. It's an obsession. It's not just a passion. Okay? You don't want yet long-term goal badly enough if you're waiting for perfect circumstances or resources to come up. I'll tell you, I used to tell this story, but then I stopped. When everybody thinks to make an online business, you got to have all this stuff. I made $400,000 with a single credit card that had a $300 spending limit on it, because I had declared bankruptcy and couldn't get a credit card. So I had a $300 prepaid credit card. I gave them $300 and they gave me $300 worth of credit. That was my credit card. So everybody's like running off, going into debt, buying this, buying that, getting this software, getting this server, getting this thing, getting this, that. I'm like, I can't do that. I have to literally figure out how to make this happen with no money. And then finally, when, we needed it, I got my father-in-law to basically give me his American Express with a $15,000 limit to be able to turn over the inventory we needed to do when we were doing CDs and DVDs. And at that point, I could get any credit card I needed or wanted on principle, but then I didn't need it, so I didn't go get it. Now, a credit card bill for me in a month is more than I declared bankruptcy over, the total amount. That's a good credit card bill. Pay it off. But the thing is, if I'd have waited until I had credit to be able to get the stuff, I never would have done what I needed to do. And then what I did was I learned it's not about having credit. It's not about having the ability to go get inventory and all this other stuff. It's all about getting customers. That's it. If you have customers, people will line up to give you access to what you need to make stuff happen. You don't want that long-term goal badly enough if you keep justifying not doing what needs doing. And you will have people in your life who will tell you, oh, honey, you're not that fat. No, you're fat. Oh, honey, you're not. Your pants aren't that tight. No, they're tight. You look stupid. Oh, honey, you don't have to stay up late tonight working on that ebook. You can do it tomorrow. No, you do need to stay up and get that crap done. You do need to stick with your goal. You do need to stick with your timeline. You do need to get up at 4 a.m. and make it happen. People that love you will tell you it's okay. And in a lot of cases, the person that you hate who's talking smack, it's easier to blow them off than the people who love you, who give you permission not to reach your goal because they don't want to see you hurt yourself, get upset, get dinged up, or they're giving you permission not to go after your goal because they're scared you're going to outgrow them, and not need them anymore. So they're going to masquerade the you shouldn't do it with the you don't have to do it. And I'm just telling you that because I love you. And they're not nefarious, but the end result's the exact same thing. If you listen to either one of them, you ain't going to do the stuff you need to do, and you're going to end up homeless behind a dumpster selling your kidney to make money to pay off your student loans because that moratorium on the payments is not going to last forever. You fail at one thing and want to quit totally. oh, well, I made a Facebook Live and people it didn't go good. I did the Facebook Live and forgot to turn on my microphone, and now everybody thinks I'm an idiot. No, nobody saw your video, Chuckles. Nobody cares. In fact, it'll make a great story someday once you're a YouTube star. You know, it's funny. First video I ever did, I forgot to turn on the microphone. Isn't that funny? Ha, 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 ha. Look at me now. You know, I used to be the fat guy in the red Hawaiian shirt. That was who I used to be, but it doesn't define who I am. You can't let a single failure define you, especially when it comes to the goals that are super, super important to you. Others can talk you out of it or distract you. Here's the thing. At my house, we have the work period. The work period is from whenever the heck I say it starts to whenever the heck I say it's done. Now, typically, for consistency's sake, the work period goes from about 5 in the morning to when I'm doing my thing till about lunchtime. Then we have lunch, and then the work period goes from 1 o'clock until about 5, and then I'm done. All right, that's the work period. In order for me to have an inviolable work period, you got to let them know when there ain't a work period. Because to get them to leave you alone, they got to know that after this time, yes, grandpa's available, Jim's available to do stuff. But you have to train yourself and the people in your life that this is the friggin' work period. I can't do that right now because I'm working, but it won't take, it doesn't matter. If it won't take long, it won't take long now, it won't take long later. Does this need to be done today? Well, yes. Does it need to be done right this minute? Well, that means no. I'm working right now. And that's what you got to build up in your own self. All right. Talked about that. Small comments and doubts can make you quit. If a small comment and a small doubt, either from you or someone else, can make you quit, then you're a wuss. We're losing people. I'm sorry. I didn't mean, oh, well, you're a wussy. You're a wussy. If somebody can make one little comment that will be the little cancer that spreads to make you finally give it, damn it, I'm not going to do it.
Yep.
You're a wuss. Okay.
You didn't want it bad enough. You didn't want it bad enough.
Here's the way I've always looked at it. I love the summary of Stu's thing. Pay the price. There are two ideas that I have latched onto over my time on planet Earth. Number one is you're going to have to pay the price. Whatever it is that you want, there's a price to be paid. If you want to be in shape, then there's a price to be paid that every day as far as what you do and don't eat and what you do and don't do with your body. The price is not a one-time price. That price is paid every day. The other thing, whatever it is, if you want to have a successful online business, there's a price that you pay every single day. Because you can build a successful business and then destroy it. You can build a body that's in shape and then let it go. You can build a great marriage and then let it go. Whatever it is, you have to pay the price, but there's a price up front and then there's a price ongoing. It's like Stu talks about to, through, and after. If you want something, there's a price to be paid to get to it. There's a price to get paid to get through it. And there's a price that gets paid after to maintain it. Whatever that is. You got to know exactly what it is that you want and exactly what the price has got to be paid. Here's the other key thing that I have developed over my lifetime thinking. All right. 5 years. Maybe I'm a Chinese communist at heart. I don't know. They have their 5-year plan for everything. And I'm not a Chinese communist, all right? I'm very anti-communist, all right? Extremely anti-commie. If you're a commie, get off my list. I hate communists, all right? That's it. Don't like socialists either. Socialism is a cancer that leads to communism. That's not a political statement. That's a statement of fact. But here's the thing. Somewhere along the line, I think when I was little, when I was super, super sick, and almost died several times, had a form of cancer in my sinuses, and that'll get you right quick. Have a brush with death, and that will give you some perspective. 5 years is going to be here 5 years from now, whether I do anything or not. So if you look back 5 years ago, you are the sum total of your thoughts, deeds, actions, attitudes, relationships from 5 years ago is where you get what got you to where you are right now. So whether I pay the price or not, up front, during, after, 5 years is going to be here. I'll be 59 5 years from now. When I'm 59, will I have paid the price to take my business to the next level? To be like, holy crap, like people know about Jim Edwards like everywhere. Or will I just have paid the price to kind of like keep things going along? But you can't just keep things going along. You're either growing or you're dying. It's like the line from Shawshank Redemption. Get busy living or get busy dying. And so 5 years from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, whatever that thing is, it's that time's a coming. And the older you get, does that time come faster or slower, Stu?
Much faster.
Much faster, which is great. Because if you know the price to pay and you commit to it, it's going to get here quick. It's like Christmas. It's going to, no matter how bad it hurts, it's going to be over. And you can get that sense of it'll be over daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. But these are the two big things that have driven it for me. Be willing to pay the price, have a huge why, pay the price, and understand, have the big picture perspective of what you're doing and how it's going to impact stuff. So that's a pretty damn good episode, Stu. And I, didn't even have a plan when we sat down.
No, I like that. I just wanted to finish the year with, just some mindset focus, because, we know how to make content. We know how to, come up with ideas, and the work comes in getting it done, getting it distributed, making it happen, and watching your business grow. That's where the money's made, obviously. And there's a lot that goes into that. And how bad you want it is one of those things. So
absolutely. How bad do you want it? A lot of people say they want it. Very few people want it that bad. And the last thing I will say is that the harder it is to do what you want to do, the more worthwhile it's worth doing, because that's something that fewer and fewer people will follow all the way through to the end. And so, if it's hard, then do it hard. And know that when you get there, it's not going to be real crowded. It's like Earl Nightingale talked about with one of his programs. I forget I used to know the name of it. I'm sure I will know the name of it, but he talks about the pyramid. The pyramid on the plains of Egypt. The pyramid is like people. All right. Loud at the bottom. It's narrower at the top. Why? Because it's harder to get to the top. But it's worth being at the top, because as the sun rises every day, the top is the first to get hit with the rays of the sun. And as the sun sets every day, it's the last part to go dark.
Is it?
It is.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Okay. Anyway, so that's it. That's it for the Jim and Stu Show, Sales, Copyright, and Content Marketing Hacks podcast for 2021. Even though 2021 almost feels like it's been an extension of 2019, this really does feel like this is a new year. This really does feel like the first new year in a couple of years.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? It's just a continuation.
I'm just gonna do the best I can. Darn it!
Okay.
Make this happen. That's why I rearranged my room. I'm ready for something new. Do I think it's gonna happen? I don't know. In my world, it will.
Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale. One of the best programs you could ever listen to, ever. Lead the Field. If you haven't listened to it, you need to. I have it on my phone. I'll listen to it when I'm walking. And The Strangest Secret. Need to listen to that. If you're going to give you a homework assignment, go listen to The Strangest Secret. Amazing. All right, Stu. Well, Happy New Year, brother. And everybody who's joined us, Happy New Year to you. And we will see you all next year on the Jim and Stu Show. See you next Tuesday. Bye-bye, everybody.